Hello everyone, welcome back. Be careful people that are watching. This story contains a not pleasing situation about suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. This is Real Tales. Have a good listening. Ex-wife cheated and is pregnant. Reached out to me saying the other guy is not treating her right. Advice. I'm looking for helpful advices without judgment, so please hear me out. This is a long post, so I apologize. Me and my ex-wife were married for 7 years, together for 9 before she cheated and left me for the other guy. Our divorce got finalized in March this year. The other guy is a playboy jerk who's probably 24-ish. It began from the end of last year, and in January of the current year, she tells me she wants a divorce. I found out they've been talking for an entire year before it turned physical last year, October. Divorce was smoothish as we didn't have any kids. She got the car. I kept my house and finances. After this, I was out of her life. She was out of mine. We never contacted each other except for 1 or 2 times. That too was when we saw each other when public. Her family is very conservative and they basically cut her off after she cheated and divorced. She moved in with the other guy. During this time, I found out she also lost a lot of friends as the other guy tried to hit on them or insulted them. Her ex sets of friends tried to get me involved in their fights. Immature as duck. But I included this part because these set of friends were the one to stand behind her after she had an affair, telling me she found herself and I should probably let her go. I don't harbor any resentment towards her or the other guy. I didn't get involved with anyone during this period because I was focused on my job and earning back my money, which I lost on divorce. Here's where I need help. 2 days back, I get a call from one of my ex-wife's friends who told me my ex-wife wanted my number. I changed it after divorce. She didn't say much when I asked her why, and told me she needed to talk. I thought it was important as, mind you, we never had any contact, so suddenly her wanting to talk to me created a sense of seriousness, for which I tell her to give my number. Yesterday my ex-wife called. She sounded very creepy for real. She didn't have the voice she used to, but it was broken. You could sense something was wrong. So I asked her what's up and she broke down crying. Went on from telling how great things were to how are things now. So the other guy is a manipulative and alcoholic boss who cheated on her multiple times in their 7 months relationship. Put her in charge of finances, which meant her getting a job, and she's pregnant. Now he doesn't want to be the father, so he's telling her she cheated and he's treating her badly. She has no place to go and he wants an abortion if she wants to be together. I asked her why did she call me instead of police. She told me she has nowhere else to go. None of her friends are willing to help her out, and that boss got friends in the department, so she's scared if things go around. She can't contact her family because they don't want anything to do with her. So she's alone. Listening to her made me sad. It really did. I told her I can sympathize but can't do anything else because I don't want to be the third party. I told her whatever relationship we had with each other is over and she's on her own now. Why should I stand up for her when she's no one to me? Besides, they're a couple now. They're dating, and she's the one earning. She has the upper hand. I gave her advices to save funds and run away silently if she doesn't want an abortion. It was a 17 minutes call and she basically wanted to talk more, but I told her I was busy and cut her off. She did mention she was sorry to treat me and leave me. I honestly don't care about that. I told her to contact me only when it's necessary because I really don't want to hear from her no more. Yesterday night I gave a deep thinking to it and felt I should do something because no one deserves this kind of treatment. But I don't want to get in between because getting in between will blow up my own peace. I'm looking for advices if I can do anything to help her out. I called her family and they told me they want nothing to do with her because she is already dead to them. Too long, didn't read. Ex-wife cheated and left. Now she calls to let me know she's pregnant and the other guy is treating her badly. She wants help. Anything I can do. Edit. Guys, I have no intention of getting back together with her, taking her back, or even wanting to help her. I sent her links to the rescue, tries to contact her family, and they told me to cut her off. The only reason I want to help her is because she reached out to me as the last resort, and I don't want to spend my life in regret if anything serious happens to her, knowing I could have helped but chose not to. Which is why I made this post. I'm gonna send her money via her friend before telling her this is all I can do and she shouldn't reach out to me unless it's urgent. Original poster posted an update that got saved in time before it got deleted. This will be my last post on Reddit. It was a freaking mess all over and there's a lot of guilt in my heart now. I will be deleting this account too. I helped her. I passed a few thousand worth of dollars to her via her friend and told her she can take care of herself as I didn't want to be a part of this crap show. We talked on phone for 38 minutes on 14th. She told me how much sorry she is and went on to say the memorable times we spent. Not once she told me she wanted to get back together. I noticed she wasn't begging or asking for help, but rather she told me it's the path she chose and she knows she can't keep or provide for the child. Neither the other guy would let her keep it and she doesn't want to abort this. She told me she wanted to talk to her parents one time. They cut her off as it caused a huge debacle and her lewd pictures got viral around the area, so her family suffered a lot of humiliation and apologized for trauma she caused. I told her I hope she gets the happiness she deserves and told her she needed to get out of this relationship. That's all. In our whole call, I just listened. I didn't want to give her justification or validation. I was just nodding to her. This time, she herself was the one to tell me that I am an amazing guy and deserve better than her before she voluntarily wanted to hang up. The reason was ... she chose to commit suicide. I found this out day before yesterday. She didn't make it. That other guy was a piece of crap and had a gun, illegal of course. She just left a note saying it was her path that she chose and apologized to everyone she hurt. Police are still investigating. From what I heard, other guy has been taken in custody for possessing a legal firearm and is currently in top suspect list. I'm not in contact with her friends or family. I work at a different city, so I'm not in the town. From what I've heard, her friends are preparing to testify against the other guy. No one from her family or friends reached out to me. I don't know if her family knows, but I don't intend to tell them. I can't sleep right now because of it. There's freaking guilt in my heart. I could have helped her. I could have done something more. I could have done something, but I chose to not get involved, which led her to kill herself. I still don't know what more happened, as I heard it from a friend of mine whose relative is a part of the investigating group. I didn't want to make this post, but I needed to get this off my chest. I've thrown up twice and still can't get a grip on myself. And now let's head to the second story of the day, a little lightweight compared to the first one. My dad is furious that my mom slept with other people in an open marriage he wanted. My parents got married when they were super young. My dad knocked up my mom, and their parents married them off. My grandfather was able to set up some business for my dad in a big city, and they moved here soon after my birth. My mom grew up in a conservative southern town where she was taught to be a submissive wife. And even after moving to the big city, she didn't spend much time socializing. She had no friends and never went out. My dad was only there to provide for us. He was always away on business, and he wasn't there as a husband for my mom or as a father to me. My dad made a lot of money, so we never lacked anything. Growing up, I became my mom's best friend. We would talk about everything. I pushed her to make friends and to find hobbies. After years of pushing, she started going to a nearby park and made her first friend, a gym trainer. Encouraged by her friend and me, she decided to join the gym. She met a few more people there and started having some semblance of a social life. But she still continued to tell me everything. I think my dad's new secretary gave him the idea, but he asked my mom for an open marriage almost a year ago. He told her he wasn't happy in their marriage and that she wasn't providing him with everything he wanted. My mom, who is a Christian wife, was mortified and told me about the proposal in tears. I suggested she get a divorce, but she said she didn't believe in it and she wouldn't be the one to end their marriage. As my dad pushed, I knew exactly where this would end up if my mom agreed. Her friend and I convinced her. My mom was hesitant at first, but she agreed with the condition that they would be completely transparent with each other. My dad was a middle-aged man with a belly and my mom was an athletic woman who worked out regularly. I'm a 22-year-old woman BTW. I don't know how my dad was so blind or what he thought would happen. I helped create online dating profiles for my mom almost 6 months ago. After getting an insane number of matches, choosing from them and chatting with them for months, my mom started hooking up with a few people. Getting all this attention has provided a massive boost to her confidence and she seems better. My dad hooked up with his secretary almost immediately. He's had very little luck with other ladies. With their transparency thing, my mom tells him about all her hookups. A few weeks ago, my dad screamed at my mom for some minor thing. Usually, my mom would have apologized, but with her new confidence, she didn't back down. It's been constant fights the last few weeks. My dad keeps starting fights by making snide remarks about my mom's clothing or appearance. He almost even called my mom a naughty woman but stopped himself. I think open marriage finally sunk in. My mom told me he tried to have a conversation about stopping their open marriage, but she immediately shot it down. I think they'll split up. My dad was never there for either of us, but the thought of my parents splitting up still feels weird. I don't feel bad for my dad, but I wish he put effort into his family. I'm happy for my mom though. Original poster posted an update after this post was made. A few days after my previous post, my dad left our home and had a divorce served to mom in a week. My grandparents didn't know about any of this, but my dad told them when he served the divorce. He also implied to them that my mom was cheating on him. Both sets of grandparents came to our home and started berating my mom. I kept screenshots of all my parents' communications, and my mom showed them to them, and it got way worse after that. Grandparents started fighting each other, blaming each other's children for causing all this. A few days after this, my mom's old church friends came to our home. Back when my mom used to go to church, they used to look down on her for being from a small town. My mom has always been a very caring and non-judgmental person, so she disagreed with their bigotry and they began excluding her from their activities. After she met her gym friends, my mom stopped going to church entirely. These church friends started calling my mom a naughty woman again and she kicked them out. My mom is on a cut right now, so she has very defined abs and arms. So along with all the normal stuff getting thrown at her, my grandparents accused her of having a man body and she also had a lot of random transphobia thrown at her. Her trainer friend has been a great support through all this. She contacted the attorney she used for her divorce and my mom is spending a lot of time at her house. Turns out, the business my dad is running is owned by mom. It was set up by my mom's dad in her name, so it belongs to her. I did not know this until now and assumed that my dad owned it. The whole situation is a huge mess right now. Dad is living in some hotel and my grandparents left yesterday after a week of fighting and trying to force my parents back together. I know there's a lot more divorce drama to come, but I hope it calms down for now. And now let's head to the third and last story of the day. My girlfriend of 2 years won't forgive me for cheating on my ex-fiance and I'm at a loss. I'm just gonna jump in. Background. So I know this sub often quotes once a cheater, always a cheater. I agree and disagree at the same time. I cheated on my ex-fiance when I was 24. I had recently found out after my mother passed that she was not actually my mother, but my grandmother. My junkie sister who took too much pills when I was 15 was actually my bio mom. My fiance at the time, name is Alma, told me that I needed to get over it because there was nothing I could do. She stopped wanting to talk to me even if it was about her day and I felt emasculated constantly. She refused to have sex for months at a time and I withdrew. We both stopped trying, but neither of us were ready to let go as we were high school sweethearts and were afraid of being without each other. Long story short, I had a one-night stand. In the moment it felt nice that someone was interested in my day, in me, and found me sexually attractive, and then it felt like someone dropped a boulder on me. I told Alma immediately the day after and we split up. I am by no means proud of myself for cheating. I felt sick to my stomach looking at myself and took a year to reevaluate my life. I moved apartments, hit the gym, ate better, tried Buddhism, and now I feel better. Alma and I even got together after the year to talk things out. She apologized for pulling away and I apologized for cheating. We forgive each other. We'll never be great friends again, but I feel better knowing that we won't cringe when we see the other person. I met my now girlfriend, name is Sasha, at a mutual friend's party. I got her number and we really hit it off. When we broached the conversation about past relationships, I told her what happened between me and Alma. I told her that if she had any questions or if this made her feel uncomfortable, then to let me know. She seemed fairly understanding, though she had never cheated or been cheated on, and we continued to have a wonderful relationship. We moved in together in November. About the end of February, she started to become increasingly curious about the cheating. She asked me if the one-night stand and I ever talked after, if she knew I had a fiancé, if Alma wanted to try and work things out, if I ever tried to get with other women in relationships, etc. I answered her honestly to all and let her know that if she's concerned that I'm going to cheat again, I'll keep my electronics and such open to her. Things seemed to be all right for a bit until I noticed that Sasha was compulsively going through my electronics. She didn't ask me any more questions regarding my infidelity but just became very jealous and controlling. For example, 3 weeks ago I had to take my computer to the shop because it had been acting buggy. Come to find out that a keylogger of some sort had been installed on my computer. I brought this up to Sasha and she asked why I took my computer in, that it worked fine for her, and that maybe it downloaded when I went onto some lewd site. Another example would be Alma messaging me on Facebook last week wondering why I sent her and another girl from high school text messages. I had no idea what she was talking about and she sent me screen caps from a cell phone number that's obviously mine. The texts weren't inappropriate, but obviously out of place. They just tried to strike up a conversation but were obviously not done in my tone. Again, I asked Sasha and she seemed genuinely clueless and baffled. I checked my online account and it confirmed that the messages were sent from my phone. Yesterday, Sasha and I went out to celebrate her friend Danielle's promotion. When Sasha went to the bathroom, Danielle brought up cheating. She told me about this ex that cheated on her all the time and cheated in all of his relationships. Once a cheater, you know. I told her that for some people that's true, but I think once a cheater should be reflective of the relationship that someone cheated in. I always know Alma will see me as a cheater. I can't take that away, but I never want to cheat again. I never want to step into a relationship and be treated like a cheater. I explained this to Danielle without referencing my past infidelity. She laughed and told me I diluted myself and that Sasha better keep her eye on me. Sasha came back and I excused myself and told Sasha I felt sick and wanted to go home. She wanted to stay and said I could just Uber. I Ubered home and watched some Netflix. Sasha came home a little tipsy and began to slyly ask if I came home immediately or if I detoured. I asked her why she was being so distrustful as I felt I kept communications open to her and have not given her a reason to not believe me. She went silent, then excused herself to go to bed. When I joined her, she was on her laptop and slammed it shut when I entered the room. Today I'm fuming. I've done everything I feel I can to help alleviate any worries of cheating. I've done my best to be a better person than who I once was. I'm at a loss and don't know if this is a normal reaction when you date someone who once cheated. Is this worth salvaging with Sasha or should I just cut and run? Too long, didn't read. I cheated on my ex-fiancé 4 years ago. I regret it and wish I could take it back. I've worked hard to become a better person. My now girlfriend has become obsessed recently with my infidelity and is being very controlling but won't admit to it. Is this worth salvaging or do I need to just walk away? Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.